What's up, guys? This is Frank M. Tech, and this is going to be part 2 in Who Am I in My Education. Let's see how this goes. Alright, guys, this is going to be part 2, parte 2, of my little series of Who Am I and my background. And basically this video is going to be on my education or my experience on mechanics, on how I became a mechanic. So basically I'm just going to do a disclaimer in the beginning of the video. Is education is the key to do a lot of stuff in your business, in your life, in your job, and escalating farther than you want to. Education is definitely the key. So basically that's what I wanted to say from the beginning. Alright, let's say years ago, I definitely wanted to be, when I was a kid, I definitely wanted to be a mechanic. Being a mechanic, I was basically in the same, how you could say, mindset, not mindset, but in the same position as you guys out there, my subscribers, are in, like, the beginning field, or don't know how to begin doing all this. I was in the same boat, in the same shoes you were, trying to figure out what I wanted to do after high school, figure out how to become a mechanic and all this other stuff. I did not know. I tried to do different steps, and it didn't work out for me. I tried to do into both technical school, since I was actually, you could say, a bad kid in school, and yeah, it was harder to actually get into these folk technical schools for that reason. I don't know how it is now. It might be a lot more easier, depending on the severity of the problem, basically. Yes, I was actually a pretty bad kid. It was hard for me to get into any type of mechanical school and everything else, especially my background of being a bad student or a bad kid when I was younger. That being said, I tried to go everywhere to do mechanics, to go to school. One, it was too expensive. The second one was they really didn't want me in there because how bad I was. Third one is more of anything, it was just like, it was too expensive, period. So I went to a different route. Didn't know how to do it, didn't know what to do. I was just like up in the air how to do things. I jumped into construction for a little bit. After construction, I ended up being into parts departments. I ended up being in the parts department for a while. I knew my stuff. Not only that, I was actually had my own vehicle, which I was working on. As everybody knows, 86 Toyota Corolla. Basically, I was working on a bunch of stuff, starting getting my hands dirty into cars. Loved it, always wanted to be it. I did the whole performance side of it. Then I actually wanted to get into the actual repair and diagnostic part of it. Jump into a body shop. Did a lot of stuff. Someone was actually a buddy of mine's. His father was actually a master tech and all that from a dealership. So I was doing motor swaps and stuff like that. He was teaching me a little bit, but not a whole bunch, but he was definitely teaching me. And then I moved on to a gas station, Sunoco gas station. Well, that guy from Sunoco gas station, I really appreciate it. That guy taught me a whole lot. That guy taught me how to diag without computers, how to work on cars, just using common sense. How to work on cars, period. Back then, when I started, we had no YouTube, we had no Google, we had Chilton books, and basically we had books. That's it. So that's basically how I ended up going. He taught very rough, how you could say. He taught you basically the rough way. You wanted to learn. If you wasn't picking up in the beginning, or you wasn't paying attention in the beginning, you lost your knowledge, or he's not going to teach you again. He was starting rough, but in the same time, I kind of liked it. That I was young guy, definitely, or young kid, you could say. Got into a big bunch of trouble. Didn't want to do all this stuff, but the way he taught me, I liked the way he taught me. I definitely wanted to be a mechanic. He was definitely paying me not a whole bunch, but you have to understand, in my position, in my point of view back then, and it still is today, I was only getting paid $7 to $8 an hour when I was working with him. But what I got out of it was more than the $7 and $8, was the knowledge that I got out from him. He taught me a lot. He taught me basically almost everything that I know, besides mostly like computer diagnostics. He definitely got into it, but I like mechanical diagnostics and mechanical stuff. building motors, swapping motors, doing all the other stuff. Die with multimeters and all this other stuff. He taught me a lot of stuff like that, and I really appreciate it. Every time I see him, I always tell him always appreciate what he did for me. Definitely, because that took me far beyond. Basically, from then we split ways. Ended up going to a bigger company, and a buddy of mine's pops was in a bigger company. I went with him. So after that, you can basically say I started doing my diagnostics a little bit more. I got into more diagnostics, more computer, and from there I moved to the same company. I bounced around all over the place where I built up my diagnostics. How you could say my diagnostics. Not only that, the company was actually paying for us to go for AUCs and also for classes to learn new stuff and different stuff. So I took those classes, which improved my diagnostics, and also I took classes for the ASCs to pass some of the ASCs that I did have. That is basically my knowledge of how I know how to do my stuff. And every company that I went that offered me to go to classes or offered to go to classes, I took the chance and I took it. I ended up taking the chances. So basically, so you guys know, I didn't go to no mechanic school. I didn't go to any UTI, Lincoln Tech, or nothing like that. I felt like it was going to end up being a waste of money and waste of time, which I'm glad that I didn't, because I see a lot of people coming from there where spend a lot of money and they're not, how you can say, they're not really hands-on. I'm a person that really hands-on. That's how I learn, and I'm glad that I can go that way and spend so much money in school. I spend a lot more money on tools. Tool-wise, I started out with Craftsman. Craftsman was #1, and believe it or not, Craftsman is going to still be #1 for me, because that is what started me out as being a mechanic, and to this day I still use Craftsman tools. So basically, I moved up and up and up, and just taking a whole bunch of classes, whatever company I was working for, taking all the classes that I can take, and build up my diagnostics. And not only that, I got to a point where I wanted to start doing side work as diag for almost free, but I was still getting paid for it. I had a little tiny scanner, worked with that for like a year, stepped up the scanner, went to a different little tiny scanner handheld. Back then, guys, how you have it nowadays, your scanners are actually a lot more advanced than what I had back then, and that's how I learned most of the stuff. So guys, that is my little story. And just to let you know, just jump a little bit more in the future. Basically, I opened up my own shop. I got a bunch of scanners now, got my own tools, I do a lot of diag. Until this day, guys, I am still taking classes when it is available to me, and I will pay for some of the classes to go. Certain classes I will go, certain classes I won't, depending on what the classes is. As you guys can see, some of these certifications or classes that I passed, or certain things that I did pass, I got more than that, but it's just a bunch of classes I did take, and I still taking them. Well, that's how basically, like in a bunch, trying to make this video pretty easy and quickly. So basically, that you could say that's my knowledge or my background as being a mechanic. I didn't go to school for mechanics. I felt I can do it a different way. I know I could. It was harder for me to do it. I know some of you guys are it was in my position at that point. There you guys are now. I took an advantage. I went for what I want. I tried to look for it. I knocked on a bunch of doors, talked to a lot of shops. A few people took me in. This one guy taught me a lot, so that's what opened the doors for me. That's all I gotta say is, guys, don't let nothing hold you back. You guys can do whatever you want. If I can definitely do it, you guys can do it. The only thing you have to understand, this is going to be a hard, bumpy road to get where you want. And I understand. I've been there. I've been with a whole bunch of rejections. I've been a bunch of times where people tell me I was going to make it. I'm not that type of person to do not tell me what to do, because I will oversee on what you think I'm going to do. So, guys, if I can do it, you can do it. No matter what age you are, you can definitely do it still. It's just going to be a hard, long road. That's all I have to tell you. It was hard for me. because I chose it to be hard, because that was how you can say that was the hand that I got dealt with. So I chose this. I love it. I'm still loving it now, especially being in my own business, especially doing this. I love this. Even working after hours, I still love doing this. This is what I love to do. So guys, I hope you love this little story or like this little story. Make sure you give me a thumbs up. If you're new subscribers, make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. People, if you have any other questions, I'm definitely going to try to make a part 3 about business, I guess. I'm going to try to, I guess, something about business, or how did I became into my business, or what did I did to get into my business. So guys, I'll let you know. Part 3 is gonna probably, let's say this. I'll try to do part 3 for next Wednesday, and this is gonna try to be for this Wednesday, and I'll try to see what other questions. So guys, I hope this answers your questions. I hope you guys do not drop out, because I told you, do not drop out. All right. There's a bunch of different ways you can go for what you want to do. All right. Make sure you give the thumbs up if you like it. If you didn't like it, give me a thumbs down. That's fine. Comment on the bottom. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you want to actually hear about me. Let me know. Doesn't matter, you know. There's a bunch of stuff that I can, you know, I can muster up, like thoughts on what I can do. There's gonna be more videos coming out, especially like this. I'm gonna try to do more videos like this, just so you guys can actually understand me and my background. All the information I'm trying to give you guys is just basically just info, and I don't want you to think, yo, this is a nobody telling me how to do things. No, this is not a nobody. I do know what I'm doing. So guys, definitely, I'm telling you this right now. Subscribe, thumbs up, thumbs down, either or. Comment, subscribe, do everything you have to. We'll see how this doing. We'll see you next week Wednesday with something new. I got a bunch of videos. Hopefully I can get a whole bunch of videos. But let me stop rambling on. So guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Comment on the bottom. Peace out, brother man. Peace.